Hi everybody, I'm Wally with Darkroom Software, and with the release of our iPad app, we've had lots of questions, lots of people wanted to see it, lots of curiosity and everything, and I'm sure that's natural. So I wanted to spend a few minutes here just before we go off for the Christmas break to kind of go over some features and just kind of run through the various settings of the software to show you how simple and easy it is, and also talk a little bit about some things we have planned for the future. So I'm just going to switch right over, and we're going to talk about the iPad app. All right. Now, if you look here, oops, let me get back up there. If you look here, this is the main screen. When you first open the software, this is what you'll see. In the top left corner, you'll see Darkroom Software and the little word Pro. That means you're using the paid version and not the free trial that you download off the App Store. And there's significant differences between the two. So if some feature is not available, like being able to save to Dropbox or something, it's probably because you're using the limited trial. So over on the right hand side, you'll see three little icons. The first one, the one that's highlighted in white right now, is the icon that shows you where the event list is. So that's where you would go back to see all your events. If you click on the next one, now you're not going to be able to see my finger touches, but you can follow along. The little gear next to that takes you to the general settings section. Very first option there is where you manage your subscription. In this case, I'm on the Pro yearly plan. You get a discount if you purchase a year in advance, and you can manage your subscription there. Then the next one is the General tab. So general settings are things, in this case, like an auto timeout. So when it goes to the screen where you would enter like a phone number or an email address or something, you can set an auto timeout where it'll either stay there forever or after so many seconds of non-use, it will switch back over to the main screen. The next one down, these are settings that would be your default. So if you always want to start with a certain set of settings when it comes to the still images, GIFs, or burst GIFs, you can set those here. And then when you create a new event, it'll start with these things like your logo and so on. Same thing with burst, and the same thing with regular GIFs. Now I'm going to go to the saving section. Saving settings is where your settings that involve saving things, where you're going to save. So in this particular case, the very first section up there is camera rolls. You can save MP4s to the camera roll. You can save RAW files to the camera roll. You can save your still images. That's the photo strip, to the camera roll. And then under that we have cloud storage options. So you can see at this moment I have none selected. I have Dropbox not linked, and I have OneDrive in there. You can put in your credentials here, like for instance if I chose OneDrive, it would come up and ask me to sign into my OneDrive account. Dropbox, you can choose Dropbox there. I've already got it signed up with my account. So once you link it like that, then you can come down and you can choose what you want saved to Dropbox. And in this case, you can choose one or all: MP4s, GIFs, RAW images, overlay images, or still images, your selection. So I'm just going to turn all of those on. So that would mean everything would get saved to Dropbox. And you can choose Save Your Settings. The next thing is the microsite setup. This is where you would put in your API key to use Event Gallery. So you'd put in your key there, and you can click OK, and it will do a test and let you know that it's connected. So that's how you would connect to the microsite Event Gallery. Once connected to Event Gallery, everything that you do in GIFs, bursts, or still photos would all get uploaded to the Event Gallery. And then we've got the sharing section. Click OK there. Under the sharing section, this is how you would share things. So up at the top, first of all, we have email sharing. Now, one thing that's unique here is if you just turn on email sharing, you don't set anything else, it's going to use a default account that we provide built into the software. So that way you don't have to worry about setting passwords or SMTP servers or any of those things. You just turn it on and it'll send email. The next thing you can do is, if you're using that built-in email account, you can put in a from name. So that's when it's sent by that default account, you can put in a name that you want the person to see that it's from. So that would be your own business name or whatever, maybe the name of the client, something like that. Then you've also got a reply to address. So if they just happen to reply to that, You could put in your own email address or something so that the reply comes to a person, and that way you can do something with it if you need to. If you want to, you can click down here under Custom, and you can put in your own SMTP server that you wanted to use to send emails with from there. Then a little further down, you can choose, of course, carbon copy and so on. You can choose to send GIFs or send MP4s, so your choice, depending on what you'd like to send. You can also use plain text or HTML, but if you use plain text, you can put in whatever information here you want, your photo, the event name, that's up to you. Let's go a little further down. SMS sharing, that's text messages. You can choose the same thing, MP4s or GIFs. I know you can't see me pointing to the screen, but I'm pointing to it. If you turn that on, it's going to give you an option to put in the information for your Twilio or your MessageBird account. You can use either one, Twilio or MessageBird, and you can just set all that information in there. Once you set that up here, you put in your information, it'll do a test to make sure it's working correctly, and that's all taken care of. So I'm going to save that back out. If you look down here at the very bottom, you'll see Enable AirDrop. AirDrop is a great way to share those without internet. No internet's required. It's just like doing an AirDrop from an iPhone to an iPhone. Of course, that only works with iPhone customers. If someone is using a Android phone or something, AirDrop's not a feature available. But AirDrop is really good and fast and easy for people, and they're used to using AirDrop, so most people that have an iPhone know how to do that. So I'm going to click Save and then move down here to this design. If you look under the design section, you have a lot of flexibility in how the screen looks to the customer. We have some default colors in here, but all of these things are changeable. You can change whatever color, buttons, you can change the color of the backgrounds and so on. If you go down a little further, you can choose. Now, it's a default logo, the Darkroom logo, but you can change that to your own logo. And that's the logo that's top of the screen. You could also take that off. If you choose Enable Attract Screen, then from there you can choose a static photo or a video. You could choose a video if you want to. Now I'm going to do right here, this is a little Christmas themed background that I've chosen that'll be my attract screen. I've set that up. Now what I've done here is I have put those in a Dropbox folder. So here's a Dropbox folder. You can store them one or several places. I like the Dropbox folder because I can just drag and drop images, graphics, whatever I'm going to use on Dropbox, associate that account with this, and then I can just pull it up real quick and easy and choose it. It just defaults back to the same place you did last time. So that makes it easy for me to get graphics onto the iPad as using the Dropbox. Then you'll look here, you'll see all sorts of text information. These are where you can change the text of what the customer sees when they're doing an AirDrop or they're doing an SMS. You can change the wording of all of those kinds of things as well. And so you can see all of that's pretty simple and flexible. And there you can hit save and you're done. Now that's all of the various settings that are within the software. Now this last little icon is the help icon that takes you to our help system where you can find all the help information. Now let's go back to the event list. Now I've set up one event here. I've just started setting it up so you can I'll walk you through that point. But if you do this, if you touch the name of the event, you'll see it pops up to this screen here where you get a list of various stats about the event, where you can see how many sessions you've done, etc. But you can also export that information, phone numbers, email addresses, right out of the software in a spreadsheet format, a comma delimited format, which is really kind of nice. So all that information is right there. Let's just edit this app or this event just a little bit so I can kind of walk you through the process and show you how simple and easy it is. So you would start with naming the event and choosing a date. So I've called this one Christmas and December 25th. The next screen is going to be for still images. So depending on what session types you plan to offer, you can turn on enable still images. You could choose front camera or back camera. The default is the front camera for most booth type use. Then you'd set your countdown timer. I've got this one set to 3 seconds. That's the default. currently in the software, there are 4 preset ratios of photos that you can use, or preset layouts. The first one there that you see highlighted in red is the square. Then we also have a rectangle, which is sort of the proportion of the actual camera photo taken. Then you've got a 4:6 print photo. Those are all 3 single photos. Then we've got a 3 strip photo session right there. So I'm going to use the square one for this particular illustration. We are adding more of these. There's quite a few more coming. We also have some plans about being able to customize those as well, but we'll be adding more strip layouts as time goes on. We're going to do the single photo square for this particular illustration. Now the next option you can choose is just to put a logo, and you can just choose your logo file here. So let's just say I choose a logo file, and I've already got the Darkroom logo on my Dropbox. So I'm going to choose that. And then you can choose where it is. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but see, as I select the different corners, it moves around the screen. So that's one option. You can also choose overlay. Now if you choose overlay and you choose an overlay style image, so you can see right there that I've chosen that, and it just overlays that right on top of the single square photo. Now I'm going to go down just a little bit further. Now you'll see right there, enable green screen. The green screen offering in our iPad app right now is done through a third-party service called remove.bg. It is a paid service. It's similar to using Twilio or something, where you put in an API key. So if I turn that on, it's going to tell you don't have the API key. You do that in the general settings. So once you put in the API key, then it links the account. You do need internet to do it, and it uploads the image, removes the background, brings it back down. It happens really fast, and then drops out the background. Now, I know people are going to say, wow, I don't want to have to pay for a separate service, and I understand that. But at the price point that we're offering this iPad app for, it's just not practical for us to cover the cost of those removals for you. We are looking at putting a traditional green screen chroma key system in the iPad app before long, and that'll be coming down the road for those that want to use that, and that'll be built in. But with the remove.bg, it's really not that expensive. You could do it on a per event basis and just charge your customer more for it. The advantage here is instead of charging a really high price for the app and including that, we chose to choose a low price and let you do it. If you don't, you're not paying for it. So that's how that works. The next thing down is where you would choose the background if you're using the green screen, and that's just a JPEG or a PNG background, and it would remove it and put the background in there. So let's move on to the next thing. So when you click next, then it comes up to GIF mode. Now if you're just going to offer still photos, you just hit next and move on, you're done. But if you wanted to offer GIF, then you can turn it on, and you see you have a lot of the same options. You can choose a different size. I'm going to stay with square. The default is 5 shots. Enable boomerang turns it on or off. That's where it goes forward and backward. You can set the delay between and the playback speed. Now, the defaults are pretty good. They look really good, but it's really simple to change those and play around with it and see what you like the best. When you get down a little further, you get the same options as far as an overlay or a logo. I'm going to choose an overlay. This feature right here is new and not out in the public release yet, but it will be in a week or so, and that's animated overlays. So you can choose that. You can add up to 5 animated overlays or animated PNG images for an animated overlay. So that'll be really cool once we do that. If you don't want to do that, you can just put in a single image. So let's do that for right now. I'm going to use the same one to make it simple. So there we go. Now then you click next and it comes to burst mode. Now the difference between burst mode and the regular GIF, the regular GIF is taking 5 photos. In this particular case, you can adjust that, and it's taking them about 3 seconds apart. So it's click 1, 2, 3, click 1, 2, 3, etc. The enable burst mode is faster, so it's happening a lot quicker and you get a little different effect. In this case, we're going to stay with square, 3-second countdown. It's taking 15 shots. You can also enable enable boomerang. Medium speed is what I'm using here, and you can set the shots per second. I'm just going to leave all those at the default. Makes it real simple. Let's choose the overlay just like we did before. So there you go, and they can be different overlays or the same overlays. So again, the burst boomerang is taking 15 shots really fast versus the regular GIF where it's 5 shots really slow. So let's click next. Now then, we've got some options here. Just like in the general settings, you can turn on the event gallery. I don't have it set up, so it's going to give me an error. You can choose to save to the and these would be where the defaults would show up that are set in the other one, but you can change the defaults depending on the event. So and so on. Let's choose Dropbox. You can choose what you want saved to Dropbox, etc. Now here's where you turn on email sharing. Same thing. If you set that up in the default, it'll come on up. SMS sharing, AirDrop, etc. Click Save. Now we're done. So I'm going to turn this on and run a session so you can kind of see how that would look and how that would work. And I'm just sitting at my desk with a window behind me, so don't pay attention to how that all looks, but just kind of gives you some idea. So let's press Start. The next thing that comes up when you press Start is what we call a pre-start checklist. It gives you a little rundown of things, and you can quickly see what things may need some attention. So first of all is the battery power. If the battery power is above a certain level, it's going to give you a green check on the left. The next thing is storage space. Storage space is good, so I've got a green check. Wi-Fi is connected, so I got a green check. And mobile data, if you had mobile data, that would be a green check. The last one down there you see is a red little exclamation point that lets me know that's not working. I don't have guided access. Now, in a normal booth operation, you'd want to use Apple's iPad feature called guided access, which locks them into the software where they can't get out of the application. I don't have that turned on for this illustration, but that's okay. So I'm going to hit Start Event. One last little check. I hit Start, and there's our start screen. Now, remember, you can change that, and it could be a video as well. So you could have a video animated start screen if you want to. So when I touch the screen, it goes to this screen right here. Now, again, this is all customizable. You can change the colors. You can change your logo at the top. So you can see kind of in the background, you can see the live view of me behind the screen. And you have an option for 3 different types of sessions. So let's do a photo to start with. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Take the picture. There's my finished one. In this case, I'm only offering email. If you were offering our AirDrop or SMS, it would be down here. This one's going to be of particular importance to people because it will stay on this screen until I click Done or until that timeout that we can set in the general settings goes out. So it's going to sit right here and wait for me to choose what I want to do. If someone wants to send it by text or by email, it's going to do the email and then come right back to this screen where the next person could have put in their phone number if they wanted to, or their other email address or whatever. So it'll stay right here as long as you need to, and then you just click Done and it goes back to the start screen. So let's try the GIF now. So if I click that and I click Start, it's going to take one photo. There's my first photo, and it's going to give another photo, and then another photo, and another photo, and another photo. Okay, so it took several photos several seconds apart. So there's my finished photo, or finished GIF. Now, if you also notice, you can send all these different options. It's going to stay right here until either the timeout is reached or until I choose Done. So let's choose Done. Now then, let's try another one and do a burst one this time. Now this time you'll see at the end of the countdown it goes really fast. So let's boom, 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 boom. So there's my burst. All right. Same thing. It's going to wait here until I put in the email address and everything. Let's click Done. All right. So that's really how it all works. To get out of this, you hit the 4 corners, just like this, and you're done. Now, if I touch the name there, you'll see that it shows I've done 3 sessions. And if I were to choose the export settings and everything, I could get the other information as far as phone numbers, emails, etc. Okay. I hope everybody enjoyed this. I hope it made some sense and you see how simple it is. The whole goal of our iPad application was simplicity, ease of use. You don't have to worry about setting up a camera. You don't worry about cables connections. You don't worry about a lot of those things. You can do a lot of different opportunities and a lot of different things without having to spend a lot of time learning. It's very easy to set up. So if you have any questions, give us a call. It's Darkroom Software. You can reach us at support@darkroomsoftware.com. Hope you had a great day and a great Christmas.